Nate's team started throwing punches at my security guards. My security guards dropped his team, and it just...
Gervonta Davis lost it at the recent press conference, smashing a chair over Jake Paul as chaos broke out on stage. Jake says this one's going to be settled the only way it should be, inside the ring. During their face-off, Davis called Jake a fat, skill-less wannabe boxer, saying anyone who thinks size alone wins fights doesn't understand boxing. Tank made it clear he's coming for a knockout, but not everyone's buying it. Fans and analysts are calling him delusional, pointing out that his lightweight power won't mean much against someone nearly 60 pounds heavier. Even his longtime coach, Calvin Ford, admitted he's worried about the risk Tank's taking.
Tank looked very uncomfortable facing off. He just did. I've seen other face-off this Tank done. He gets in their face and they're intense and he looks good. He looked very meager up there. You've had 8 fights and you're gonna go tangle with Tank Davis. And the story instantly comes out. Jake is so much bigger. There is such a compliment to Jake within that insult. It is meant to be an...
Ever since that heated New York face-off, fans have noticed a change in Tank, distant, irritated, and almost detached. But things completely exploded when Jake Paul went too far. Jake started mocking Tank's personal life, cracking jokes about his ankle monitors, handcuffs, and legal issues. That's when Tank snapped, hurled a chair across the stage, and shouted that this fight is personal now. But Jake wasn't done. In one of his most shocking stunts yet, he brought actual clowns on stage, pointing at Davis and saying, "Any man who puts his hands on a woman is a clown."
I want to see clowns. Gervonta, you're the clown, buddy. You're the clown, Gervonta. Any man who puts his hands on a woman is the clown.
But this might all be part of Jake Paul's next-level mind games. Just days after the chaos in New York, Jake uploaded an AI-generated video of him and Tank kissing on the mouth. Fans were split. Some found it hilarious. Others said Jake had finally crossed the line. According to people close to Davis, the stunt pushed things way too far. And there were even serious talks about pulling out of the fight altogether.
Look at this face-off, Henry. What are your thoughts here?
You're hearing that shit from me. That's cringe. In some weird way, I kind of like
cringe
it.
about it.
He's trying to big man the smaller guy, who the smaller guy to me is dangerous. I think Tank Davis is going to put their hands on him, but I like it, bro. I will say something about Jake Paul. He's brought a lot of attention to boxing. Tank Davis guaranteed $40 million.
If you were in that position...
Tank's coach, Calvin Ford, is already raising red flags, this time about the gloves. According to Jake's father, Gregory Paul, Ford requested that Gervonta wear smaller gloves while Jake stuck with the standard thicker pair. The goal? To make Tank's punches sharper and more dangerous. But to Jake's camp, it looked desperate. "You're already trying to bend the rules because you know it's a bad matchup," Gregory said. Ford didn't deny making the request but claimed it was about fairness, saying Jake's gloves didn't feel right. The whole exchange went viral online, and fans began asking the question no one wanted to say out loud. Is Tank's team already losing confidence?
Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them.
Will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were like to beat him or even like knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him. Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. It's the same way Roach...
And honestly, they might be. The weight issue just won't go away. During the New York event, when the host announced the fight would take place at 195 pounds, Tank immediately cut him off. "Nah, y'all said 190. You could see the frustration all over his face. That tiny correction spoke volumes. Tank didn't even seem sure what the official weight limit was. For a man who's fought his entire career around 135, even 5 extra pounds can change everything, let alone 60. Still, Tank's not backing down. In every interview, he keeps repeating, weight doesn't mean skill. People think size wins fights. It doesn't. Power, timing, and heart win fights. And I got all 3. He's doubling down on his prediction. Jake's getting knocked out. And maybe he truly believes it.
A 5'7" wingspan. Tank fighting me would be a fairer matchup. We're basically the same size. And you wonder why fans think Jake's fights are rigged? Because every time we see some nonsense like this, it feels like WWE with boxing gloves. Here's the kicker though. Jake threatened to sue anyone who calls his fights rigged. Yeah, you know, the same guy who preaches freedom of speech now wants to ban opinions. After that clown show with Mike Tyson that left everyone scratching their heads. Maybe.
But Calvin Ford doesn't sound quite as confident. In a recent media chat, he admitted, "I just want Tank to get paid and get out safe. That's all." That one sentence says everything about how seriously his corner is taking Jake's size advantage. Jake, meanwhile, is thriving in the chaos. He arrived at the Miami presser in a $3 million Bugatti Chiron, with streamer Aiden Ross recording every second. Tank pulled up in a sleek black Ferrari SF90, both men flexing, but Jake's energy was louder. "I'm the bigger man, the better athlete, and the smarter businessman," Jake told reporters. Tank didn't hesitate to fire back. "You're a YouTuber pretending to be a fighter."
Man, I'm thinking about, Bigfoot versus Littlefoot. Andre the Giant versus Wee Man. Man, this is gonna be better than damn Circus on Lake. Yeah, they gonna look weird as hell in the ring together, man. You see how big Jake Paul is? 200 plus pounds? Man, I don't understand it. I don't get it. Yeah, the circus continues. This is why I can't stand them.
Even Mike Tyson has weighed in, and he's backing Jake Paul, at least when it comes to raw power. Ahead of Jake's fight with Gervonta "Tank" Davis, Tyson admitted he was sore for days after sparring with Jake. Sure, some say that might have more to do with Tyson's age than Jake's punch, but coming from Iron Mike himself, that's still a huge compliment. For Jake, it's the validation he's been chasing for years. And now, with Tyson's stamp of approval, he's out to prove that he truly belongs in real boxing conversations, not just influencer ones.
Problems in the last month or so and rumors about his retirement. I don't think it's a massive shock that he is taking this Jake Paul fight, if it is going to go ahead, purely for the reason that it's a lot of money for maybe not the most difficult job that he's going to have in his career. So it's a strange one, but yeah, it's just another kind of day in the sport, really, isn't it?
Despite all the chaos and controversy that always seem to follow him, Jake Paul isn't slowing down. At just 28, the Ohio native insists he's chasing a legitimate world title shot. Sure, fighting Tank Davis might not get him any closer to that. It's more spectacle than sport. The bout is officially an exhibition, no belts, no rankings, no record. But what it does bring is money, attention, and headlines, and that's Jake's arena. His business partner and most valuable promotions co-founder, Nakisa by Variant, has already stepped in to clarify the technical details, trying to shut down the confusion about whether this fight is real or just another show.
You do this when you're in your 40s. You don't do this now when people want Shakur, when you fall to a draw and Lamont Roach should be next. We get all of that. Let me tell you where I am. The fight is scheduled and it's going to happen. Now,
according to By Variant, the fight will be capped at 195 pounds and fully approved by the State Athletic Commission. It's scheduled for 10 rounds, 3 minutes each, with both fighters wearing 12-ounce gloves. 3 professional judges, handpicked by the commission, will sit ringside with real scorecards, meaning if it goes the distance, there will be an official winner. Both fighters will also undergo full USADA drug testing, the same strict protocol used in world title fights. So while it's technically being called an exhibition, everything about this event, from the setup to the testing, looks and feels like the real thing.
Actually retired out of the sport because he's been, making claims saying that he's done and that he's about to retire. Basically, he doesn't want to do this no more. And I feel like, he got the big fight, and there's really no bigger fight than this. There's just no bigger fight than this, bro. At first, people were saying
that announcement was supposed to silence the critics, to prove this wasn't fake or scripted. But it didn't. The word exhibition still hangs over the event like a dark cloud, making purists uneasy, especially former world champion Paulie Malignaggi. And when it comes to speaking his mind, Paulie never holds back. "This whole thing's a circus," he said. "People don't understand what this really is. It's not a real fight, it's an exhibition." He went even further, addressing the ongoing rumors about Jake Paul fixing his fights. "I don't think Jake's fixing fights," Paulie explained, "because fixing a sanctioned fight is a federal crime. What he does do is pick opponents who are too small or way past their prime."
But instead of giving us the rematch with Roach, he's going to fight Jake Paul. Now, this is where you have a chance to stand up as fans. Don't pay for it. Don't watch it. But we know that you're going to.
Then Paulie broke it down even deeper. "This fight's not sanctioned, which means technically you can't even bet on it," he said. "When you call something an exhibition, you take away the gambling angle. They can't legally allow betting on something that could be staged. That's why they had to turn Tyson's last fight into a real one, because fans demanded to bet on it. Polite described the whole thing as wild, unpredictable, and straight up a circus. And if he's right, this might end up being less of a boxing match and more of a multi-million-dollar performance.
When you go get an actual real boxer, for real boxer, who is a knockout artist, who is still in his prime, and now you put him in this exhibition, this just shows me right now that the sport is officially gone, and the only hope we have is September 13th, Canelo and Bud Crawford.
Still, Paulie Malignaggi did offer a glimpse of how this fight might actually play out, if it's real. If they don't stage it, and it's not just light sparring, then Tank's got a shot, depending on the glove size, he said. Malignaggi pointed out the obvious, the massive size difference. Jake could be nearly 100 pounds heavier. With smaller gloves, Tank's speed and precision could be dangerous. But those same gloves also make Jake's power even deadlier for a smaller opponent. In other words, if both men decide to really throw down, this exhibition could become far more violent than anyone expects.
But I think my thoughts on it is let's watch and see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said that boxing is turning into WWE.
Yeah,
with that type of matchup. What do you agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor?
Yeah, but the whole thing's on WWE, so
right.
It's like, at least that's happening and getting something to talk about, something to watch. And
that size gap has been the biggest talking point since the fight was announced. Fans still can't believe Gervonta Davis agreed to fight anywhere near 190 to 195 pounds. Even if it's an exhibition, that's a massive leap. Tank has spent his entire career fighting around 135 pounds. No fighter that small has ever stepped into cruiserweight territory against a full-sized opponent. Not seriously, at least. The risk is enormous, and everyone knows it.
Next boxing. Right. I just hope we get the Shakur fight before that moment. So for me, that Tank fight, I mean, as I understand it, Tank's fighting Jake Paul, which is the most bizarre thing ever, but I'm sure it'll do massive numbers. Right. And I don't know what'll happen with the Lamont Roach fight, but I just hope that...
Malignaggi comments about the gloves weren't random either. The official glove size is now confirmed at 12 ounces, heavier than standard pro gloves. That means less damage per punch, but more protection for both fighters. For Gervonta, that's good news. It gives him a little extra cushion against Jake's heavier shots. But it also limits how much power he can generate from his smaller frame. And in a matchup where he's already giving up 60 pounds, every ounce of padding matters.
I mean, and you know what, PBC has to be called out in this too. They have one of the biggest stars in boxing, and they're putting him in this farcical fight. And they are struggling for survival, PBC. I mean, they are just falling apart. You know, the Pacquiao fight did terrible, terribly promoted. Pacquiao was hardly available. I mean, it was just that they were too cheap to hire Pacquiao's norm.
Jake Paul, on the other hand, doesn't seem bothered by any of it. He's promoting the fight in classic Jake Paul fashion, with controversy, confidence, and marketing genius. On the Double Coverage podcast, Jake revealed there's a massive knockout bonus on the line. He didn't say the exact number, but he called it big, big money. According to Jake, whoever scores the knockout gets a huge check, and even a TKO still counts. It's pure Jake Paul, turning risk into spectacle and spectacle into profit.
Be an exhibition bout, it will not count towards their professional careers. The age is close. Jake Paul is 28, Gervonta Davis is 30, but the weight difference is massive. Paul has fought around 200 to 227 pounds. Davis dominant at just 135 pounds. Many expected Davis to fight Lamont Roach Jr. again, but instead he chose Jake Paul, a fight many say is more about money than legacy. Critics suggest
both fighters are walking into this one with the same mission, to end it inside the distance. Jake Paul made that clear himself. This isn't going to be one of those Floyd-Logan fights where nobody wins. Somebody's getting sleepy. And even though it's officially listed as an exhibition, because of the massive weight difference, Jake insists that doesn't make it any less dangerous. It's only called an exhibition because he's like 70 pounds lighter, Jake said. But once we're in there, it's real. The punches are real. The knockout's real. Then came the mind games. Jake went after Gervonta mentality, saying, Tank's mentally weak in the ring. As soon as things don't go his way, he starts to crumble. And things aren't going his way this time. He doubled down with one final warning. Whatever he thinks is coming into that ring, Whatever he's planning for, he's underestimating me.
An exhibition bout, it will not count towards their professional careers. The age is close. Jake Paul is 28, Gervonta Davis is 30, but the weight difference is massive. Paul has fought around 200 to 227 pounds. Davis dominated at just 135 pounds. Many expected Davis to fight Lamont Roach Jr. again, but instead he chose Jake Paul, a fight many say is more about money than legacy. Critics suggest
that statement echoed what many have said about Gervona's composure under pressure. He's known for patience, for sitting back, reading his opponent, and striking with surgical precision. But against a bigger, heavier, more aggressive fighter like Jake Paul, that patience could turn into a weakness. Jake's plan is simple: use size, volume, and pressure to force early mistakes. For him, this fight is about one thing: power and control. He's already earned Mike Tyson's respect for how hard he hits. But now Jake wants something bigger. To prove he can handle a world-class name like Tank, even in an exhibition. The irony? Both men keep calling it just business. But everything about their behavior says the opposite. This is personal, and both are chasing validation.
I think Jake wins.
Jake's just so big, dude.
I think Jake wins.
This is different because it's similar. It's similar to Logan versus Mayweather, but Jake Paul now obviously is way more advanced than where Logan was at that moment in time.
I mean, it's just, yeah, no, but dude,
Did
Jake.
you ever watch his highlights?
Jake.
For Gervonta Davis, this is about defending the soul of boxing, proving that skill still beats size, and that pure technique means more than hype or followers. For Jake Paul, it's about shedding the YouTuber label once and for all, proving he belongs in the same ring as real champions, even if they're smaller. Neither man wants to walk out of Miami looking embarrassed. And that's what makes this exhibition so dangerous. Because beneath the lights, the noise, and the money, this isn't just entertainment anymore.